All right, I'm going to do my best to wrap up Georgia's 14th Southeastern Conference football championship, putting them at number two all time inside the league, behind only mighty Alabama. And the Tide will almost certainly be watching the Dogs play for another national championship, or at least the quest to do so. Uh, that when the time you're watching this, you probably will already know that Georgia's playing in Atlanta. I'm recording this when Michigan and Clemson are playing, so I don't really know what's going on. I have a wobbly table that I'm dealing with. I think globally speaking, you're talking about a Georgia team here that, they can beat you in any number of ways. Tonight, they want a shootout. People don't want to call it that, I guess, but it's a game where both teams scored a total of 80 points. That's a lot. I have a Heisman Trophy vote coming up sooner than later. I'm not sure what I go with there. But Stetson tonight was a lot. He played really well. I'm not suggesting that I would vote him number one, but I do think that he deserves recognition. We've just seen a college football weekend, the likes of which, Stetson Bennett was 23 of 29 for 4 touchdowns, 274 yards. This game comes down to very basic things. Georgia ran for 255 yards. LSU ran for 47. Is it? I mean, there's some concern, I think, to some degree. LSU was 31 of 52 with 2 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, had several big plays, it felt like, from Nussmeier and even Daniels, but certainly more Nussmeier. But there was kind of nothing to lose at points, during that time. I mean, Kirby, this is Kirby's second SEC championship. The way that they played tonight and the way that they played the bulk of this season, this should be his second national championship at Georgia. Yeah, and these are such big moments in time. Georgia won it in 02. I was here for that. 05, I was here for that. That was an amazing thing. You saw DJ Shockley down there tonight with Stetson talking briefly. Obviously, the win in 17, which was just such a huge win. And then this one tonight, which seems more like a opening the door to a new pathway more than it is a congratulatory thing. But Stetson tonight had very good perspective in that. He said, this is what you hang banners for. No matter what. And this is, let me add this too, about what Kirby had to say. He did not want players from his program leaving without winning the SEC championship. And he said it was very close tonight. If they had not won tonight, a whole swath of players would not have won an SEC championship. But now you've got those 85 guys who are scholarship guys. They're all in there. A great gift is DAWGSTRUCTION. That's either signed by Kelee Ringo or just a regular version. Get it before I run out of them, because that will happen sooner than later. It's the 3rd right now. Order it so I'm not going to the post office sprinting or having to charge you $10 for UPS or whatever it'll be. Next daying it on the 23rd. Get the book now. If you want it, get it now before I run out, frankly, because they're really going fast. But you do hang banners for this. I mean, what's crazy right now is that there are only 2 quarterbacks alive that are at Georgia who have won a national championship and an SEC championship, Buck and Stetson. And Buck didn't go 23 for 29. I love you, Buck. No, I don't have issues. But I think, if you were here right now, you'd say the same thing. If Stetson plays like this, Georgia's not losing. They're just not. And I think the question is, who will they play, right? It should be Ohio State. But, this is a mess right now. I sat there and watched SC last night give the store away. They can't tackle at all. You cannot give this Georgia team an opportunity to steal points. Chris Smith, you got the blocked field goal, which I was like, they're about to block. I thought they're about to block this thing. But these guys are so smart. And here's what I mean by that. Number one, you had Chris thinking about it. He saw it and he thought about picking the ball up and going with it. And nobody on the field except, no one on the field was thinking about that play. But the Georgia players were celebrating. And the people in the stands were like, pick the ball up and run with it. I don't know what LSU was doing there. That was bad football. Secondly, and I asked Kirby this tonight, Jalen Carter picked Jaden Daniels up like I pick up a 3-year-old child that I had at the time. And he just picked him up with one hand and put a number one up with the other. Now, I thought it was possible that they could have flagged him. But Kirby's point, and he's correct here, is he didn't do anything with him. Like, he didn't throw him on the ground or anything like that. So, what were they going to – I mean, that's not exactly what Kirby was pointing at. Kirby was saying, hey, he didn't throw him on the ground. If he had thrown him on the ground, it would have been first down for LSU. That's the last time we saw Daniels in the game. I think he might have had one more snap. And Georgia didn't play great tonight defensively. But and I have to go back and look, and I'll look at it right now. I'll talk into all it. But when you have I keep these statistics, man. I try to be well informed. I try. But when you start allowing Georgia or any power school, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, when you start letting them score non-offensive touchdowns, you're in trouble. You're in real trouble. And that moment, Georgia was not playing well. And it just takes nothing for these guys to get going. Nothing. And, I mean, it's too – you cannot allow Georgia to get going. It's like watching Steph Curry shoot threes. You're going to let him step into a three and let him get going. There's another term I use consistently that I'm not going to use right now because it's not clean. But you consistently allow Georgia, or if you allow Georgia to get a non-offensive touchdown, get another interception. So Georgia has scored in this 10-year since 2010. They've scored 48 non-offensive touchdowns. Okay, 48 games they have played in where that's happened. They are I said 43, right? Okay, so 43 of them. I don't know what I said, but it is 43. They are 35 and they're 35-7, whatever it is. That you cannot allow a team 36-7. Excuse me, for our Georgia Tech friends probably auditing this recording. God, y'all are pathetic with your corrections. But I'm doing this on the fly. This doesn't just have. It's not just mad. This is the magic. You cannot give Georgia points unless you want to lose. And then with that interception from Smile Munden, I think, it just set up. It was too easy to score. It was too easy to score. I don't have the drive chart here, but I bet they drove enough. I know I do have a drive chart. I stand corrected. It went punt, touchdown, missed field goal, barely, touchdown, fumble, punt, touchdown. I mean, it's like, come on. Here was LSU, all right? Punt, blocked field goal, touchdown, interception, punt, 3 and 3. So it was punt, missed field goal on a 14-play, 69-yard drive, touchdown of a 3-play drive, interception, 2 plays, -2 yards, punt, 3 and out, punt, 3 and out, punt, 3 and out. You're not going to beat these guys like that, man. You have to consistently be good. You have to have 28-yard drives and then punt. You can't go 3 and out. There's a stretch of time. So I'm very British there. There was a stretch of time in this game when LSU, from just on top of the interception, I don't know who got the interception. I guess it was Smile Munden. They went 11 plays for 0 yards. And they went 11 plays for 0 yards. And y'all know how I talk. I don't know if you remember this or not. Georgia steals quarters from you. As an offense, you're trying to play, oh, we're going to do this. They steal a whole quarter from you. You better beat them in the 3 quarters they give you, or you're not going to win. And this was the quarter. It was the second quarter. Interception, -2 yards. 3 plays, 8 yards. 3 plays, 0 yards. 3 plays, -6 yards. They went 11 plays for 0 yards for a quarter. You can't. The game was over. It doesn't matter that they threw a long touchdown. It doesn't matter. It's like the Rock. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's too much. You're asking too much to have that happen. You cannot do it. This team should win the national championship. Now, I don't know that they will, but this team is the best team in the country, and I'm afraid it might be by more than I suspect. The good news is you scored 50 points on offense. The good news is the other team scored 30, so Kirby's going to be all over these guys' asses for the next 4 weeks to play Ohio State, which is going to play a similar style to Tennessee, all these guys. It's SEC championships do not grow on trees. You're not going to have moments like this all the time. It is a testament to the decision by the university to fully invest in the vision of Kirby. It didn't happen all at first. And I'm not talking about Greg McGarity, who is like this punching bag, which is sort of silly. I'm talking about it didn't happen. The university didn't understand. Georgia's admissions rate, like what they're allowing into the school, there's been so many applications because of the national championship. They're going to be around 20% or fewer acceptance rate. That's crazy because that's like Virginia, North Carolina. That's where Georgia's getting, not just academically. It's not exclusively because of football, obviously. It's become a great academic institution. Why does this matter? It all matters. It all matters. Football matters a ton. You're getting a 4-hour infomercial about your institution. You can raise money off of it. People love Georgia. You can get the next crop of just brilliance. The state, the whole thing, it matters a lot to the state in terms of economic development, jobs, all these things. All this stuff, it doesn't seem like it's that important. And honestly, what I do, it's not. And what Kirby and them do, we're not, no one's saving lives here. But what I'm saying is it all adds up. And, when you have what they've got right now and the ability to grow an institution and be great because of the way 11 guys play on the field at any given moment, you have to take advantage of that. Duke does, North Carolina does. This is a standard thing. And, so like for Jerry Moorhead, the president of the university, and so forth, to say, yes, we understand it. Josh Brooks, everybody didn't understand this in 2016. They didn't get this. Now, some of us have been screaming that this should be happening for a long time. Now it is. But you've not raised the gold trophy yet. So don't get too excited. But it's there to be had. Tonight, as soon as y'all watch this, it won't matter. I mean, they will have won 50-30. They will have won their 14th SEC championship. That matters. But what happened in this game, y'all know it doesn't matter now. I mean, you're getting ready for Christmas. The kids are going to be home, which is like enough already, right? And but these moments don't just grow on trees. And people need to appreciate what this team has done to get to this moment and the opportunity they've got moving forward. And the opportunity is they're going to play in Atlanta again, probably against Ohio State, but I have no idea what's happening in the other games. So there's no telling what's going on right now. TCU's already lost. I mean, it's been a mess out there the last 24 hours. Only Georgia has played, specifically the offense has played the way they need to. So we don't know what the future holds. We know Georgia will play in Atlanta. And that crowd was asleep a lot of the game. I mean, even though they scored 50 points, it wasn't an unbelievable crowd. I'm just going to tell you. And Georgia didn't play unbelievable at the beginning of the game. They did not. But then you cannot let these guys get going. And they did. And that's what happened. And that's why they were hoisting the wooden trophy. It's a big deal to win this league. It's a big deal to win this league, and they only give one out a year. National championship's a bigger deal. It is, but to win the league, that's an important moment. Make sure you're checking out everything else. I'm going to get out of everybody's way here. They've been very patient with me. But Georgia wins another SEC championship. The program's 14th, second all time. It was fun while it lasted, Tennessee, that tie for a few years. See you on the website.